Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining for this edition of my weekly workshop for all matters digital analytics. My name is Peter O'Neill. If you almost start share my screen in a second, in the meantime, it'd be great if you just drop into the chat to say hello and also, I guess, where you're from, as well as to see people around the world. Fingers crossed, clients will actually hit double figures. That would be a nice little target to reach. Let me get my screen showing. And there we go. Scotland, London, Coventry. That's all good. I think we're a bit more scattered than that as well. Greece, always good to have you here, George. Thanks for coming along again. Great. Okay, so the very quick run through. I think you all know who I am by now. My name is Peter. G'day. Do the Australian thing. I bought Vegemite yesterday. It was very exciting. We've been missing that for a few weeks. I lived in London for 16 years, now across the Netherlands. Working in this field for the past 15 years. Was previously doing my own agency, and now, after selling that and exiting last year, I'm back freelancing. I'm also the founder of MeasureCamp. Is anyone here attending at MeasureCamp Europe next Saturday? I hope at least a couple of you are. It's going to be a great day. Lots of random discussions from all over the place. Great learnings with some great people. So assuming, George, you've got a ticket, which I hope you have. And George, are you also running a session yourself? Even bigger question. Great to hear, Andrew. So just on MeasureCamp quickly, just to try and push a little bit harder. Not so much of a temp if you are attending. We don't know right now who's speaking, on what topics, when, where. It's all unknown to us. Anyone who attends MeasureCamp can run a session on a topic of their choice. Can be a presentation, a discussion, even a game show. Anything goes. It is, as George may say right now, absolutely terrifying in advance. But it's a great thrill to actually do it, to get through it successfully, to get the positive feedback. It's the biggest thing we hear post at MeasureCamp, virtual or in person, that person had a great time, had a great day, wish they'd done a session, would do so next time. So George, across to you. We can help you out, provide support, even to do 5-minute talks only, if that helps you out, rather than the full 30 minutes. Moving on from that, these workshops, my ideas, as you're going to see today a bit, do jump all over the place. I'm not sure today's session will work well in a formal course, but we'll see how it goes. Great to hear from George there. He's actually now considering next week. Let me know. There's an idea for a session which is 5 for 5. 5 people doing 5 minutes each. If you're interested, George, send me a quick note. You got a week to prepare a 5-minute talk, and I'll make sure we find the 4 other people as well. This session today, hopefully around 45 minutes. Bring your lunch or your breakfast if you're in the US. And also, please do ask questions throughout. I want it to be practical. Today definitely will be. And of course, I want to share my knowledge. I want to get feedback and learn how to do it better, how to make my ideas better. I'm not entirely happy with last week's talk. In hindsight, I can get better at it. And I'm now back freelancing. So lead generation, if these ideas sound great to you, your company, or any contacts you have, please do pass it along. I'd love to hear from you or from them or anyone else. But getting started. The concept of today's workshop, and this is topic there is, we'll see in a second, people who are shopping on a website but are banned if they view a product. So any retail website has this same customer journey always. People visit a website, they're shopping on the website, they view at least one product page, they create a basket, commence the checkout process, and place an order. This happens everywhere. What we're focusing on here for today's talk is narrowing down to just one stage only of this funnel. People who have visited the website, they're shopping on the website, but then they don't actually get to view a product page itself. They abandon it very early on in the process. I'm going to go deep in this one area. But with it, the concept here today, we can look at this sort of reports in a tool like Google Analytics, and ignore the fact that Google has a really bad implementation of Google Analytics on the Google Merchandise Store, hence no add to cart. But all we can tell you is this is the what happened, what the data is. And that means you can sort of identify some problems, maybe make some fixes, but it's not enough. You need to know why something's happened. And to understand why, you have to think about people. Why is this person walking into the store, seeing the rack as they're going through their clothes? Do they actually pick one item of clothing off the rack to look at it in more detail or not? And if not, why not? What was holding them back? Why did they even look at this rack in the first place? Was this the rack that actually is the new products, the products in their size, the color appealed? These are the discount rack. Understanding why here, think about people and people's motivations. For today's session, I want you to stop thinking about data so much, to almost close your eyes and visualize a store or possibly a website, to visualize what you'd be looking at within that and what you would do next and what would motivate you to do that. This is the airy-fairy way of thinking about it. This is what I'm going to focus on today, because you can always just go through a checklist of reports, but if you understand why, you can think of what reports to look at next. What's different here? New scenarios, you can think through them in advance without having experienced them before. And that's so, so powerful. And with the people looking at digital here, you're not walking around the store, looking at the racks, picking up products, putting them in a physical basket. You're behind a screen, pointing at the screen, clicking back and forth, choosing options. That's the mental state we have to be aware of today during today's discussion. And the reason that's important, my example for this is the desktop versus mobile conversion rate. It's a classic one. I mean, looking here, it's 4% for desktop, 0.7% for mobile, which actually is a very big difference. What I'm used to seeing is a mobile conversion rate about half that of a desktop conversion rate on average. And you ask, I mean, why is it always lower? Why is it always sort of half the desktop? What's the reason behind that? And the common reason I hear again and again with this is the devices, their mobile phones, they're so small. I mean, the forms on the checkout process, it's so small. If we just make the forms work better, the forms bigger, ask for less information, that will solve the problem. That will fix it. And then people will actually move from a low conversion rate for mobile up to the same rate as desktop. The barriers, the forms, and the user experience. Now, the data may say that. And when you think just data points and wants a top-line view, that does make sense. The screens are smaller. Forms are hard to fill in. But let's map people here. When do you actually use your mobile phone? The example here, the one on the left on the mobile, at their coffee shop. They've ordered their coffee, got theirs, and they've paused inside with a takeaway coffee. Why would that be? Well, they're waiting for their friend who's also ordered coffee, and they're waiting for their coffee. Now, while they're waiting, they've got 2-3 minutes to wait because the person ordered some weird, long, lengthy sort of coffee type, which has got all these weird flavors put into it. Pull the phone out and start scrolling through. As a geek, I'd scroll through Twitter, but other people, window shopping, look through the website and flick through what's new today. And their friend comes along, got their coffee, and they're ready to leave. So you abandon that point in time. And the reason you've abandoned the website search there isn't because of a small screen, isn't because of the forms being too slow, isn't anything to the website at all. It's because of where you are, that you use a mobile phone. Your friends turned up, so you put the phone away, you be polite. People use a phone waiting for their friends in bars, coffee shops, in restaurants, on trains, not so much at home on their Wi-Fi, but using the public networks. They're not quite as safe. They want to go home on the right-hand side, be at home at their own kitchen table with a bigger screen in front of them and feeling comfortable to spend money on a website. So when you think of people in detail and trying to imagine the scenarios of when you use that device, when you go to that website, what you think is for using the website, that can change what the problem is. It can actually help you determine as well what reports to look at. But getting this mindset means you move beyond using a checklist of reports to review. Data points are important. If you think about people, it just makes the whole thing so powerful. It means as new problems arise, you can find new solutions. You don't just limit to the old solutions. So before I start, does that make sense to people? Ask me a question, say yes in the chat if that's making sense to you. Great, thank you, Liberty, for that. Good to get some feedback. Thank you. This is a big thing for me. As an analyst, you start off from the basics, the data, start defining the problems, it becomes more powerful. So let's focus again, abandonment without viewing a product. So here's the funnel again. So shopping on a website, that to me is when you've gone to a website, or say a retail website, here's a visual map of it as a basic idea. And you've indicated in some way you're looking to buy a product. The reason we're doing this is not every website visitor is a potential customer. Some people come in by accident, and some people are there for different reasons. They're there to check their previous order. They're there to look for jobs. They're to contact you, they're to arrange a return. These are not potential customers. And therefore your conversion rate should not include these people. It's inflated. They could be reading a blog post, something totally different, and inflates your numbers. So the way we do that is we go from the original funnel, visit website, to stage 2, shopping on the website. And so we look to see all the sessions in which you view any potential e-commerce page, the department and product list pages, search results pages, other product list pages, the products page itself, the basket, the wish list, even all the checkout process should be highlighted here as well. These are all the shopping pages say, I'm an e-commerce customer, potential e-commerce customer. Just coming in, viewing the homepage, not enough. The My Account section could be different reasons. For contacting us, reading company pages, reading the blog pages, blog posts, all of the potentially and none customers. So let's focus on customers only. That's this first stage. And the next stage, these people who go on to view a product details page. So we want to find people here who have gone from here and got through this next stage. Noting, of course, that it actually includes the same people who have viewed a product page can trigger both sections. Obviously, they don't count. They've gone on already. We know that they've actually viewed a product page. It's the ones who probably get lost up here somewhere and don't get through the process enough to the product page that we're interested in. So again, right away, think of people. And why would you view these pages here but not click through to view that page? That's what we're trying to investigate and understand. Here's some data. Show why it's important. We go from 120,000 sessions, and we the word sessions here, not users. We can discuss one another time. And we have 3,250 of these sessions going to make a transaction. Here's the numbers at each stage, and here's the numbers that go complete each stage. So shopping on a website, 103,000 sessions, view product, 54,500, as a 52.9 completion rate. Now, my very first workshop was on this e-commerce funnel. What I brought in there was some targets. And the target at this stage here is 80%. 80, 20, 60, 80. So we compare actual performance against the target performance and compare the performance gap. All went in here are 5 numbers, 4 calculated metrics against these 4 targets, and where's the biggest gap? So the reason we focus here is the biggest gap is in that shop on website through to view product stage. That number's got the biggest gap. It's missing 34%. So we're not going to try and fix the checkout process. That's actually the best stage here at 70%. It could get better up to 80%, but it's not the biggest jump. This one here, a much bigger jump. And to note here as well, this is a bit counterintuitive. At least it was to me originally. But a 10% improvement at any stage of the funnel has holding everything else from that point onwards consistent, a 10% increase in sales. So whether you increase this stage by 10% or increase this stage by 10%, either one has a 10% impact on sales. So if we can get this number, 53%, up to 65, 70%, that's going to have a 15, 20% impact on sales. An impact on sales we just couldn't get at this stage down here. So let's focus here, try and make it better. And that raises the question, so we know it's bad, we know the what, but what could be causing this? And often, what reports we look at first? But before we actually even do that, let's double check first of all, data itself, can we trust this data? Is it accurate or not? Could that shop on website number be inflated? When we're saying 103,000 here, if it was actually on about 80,000, that suddenly comes, get my calculator out, 68%. If that's 80,000 shop on website, 54,500 view product, that becomes 68%. That drop off isn't actually that bad after all. What could cause people to shop on the website, that number there, to be inflated? Are there any suggestions from anyone here? Great one there, Liberty, exactly right, including the wrong page types. If, say, you included the home page in your number, that would definitely inflate this number. If you're including any page that contains the word product, and actually picks up half your blog posts, that's going to inflate your number. So check through carefully, did you get the definition right for this? Also, if you've done something pretty bad and gone, sessions review this page type, plus sessions review that page type, plus sessions reviews that page type, you'll be double counting. That could also cause this. What about the next one here? What could cause the view product number to be deflated? What if this wasn't 54,500, but actually was up around the 70,000 mark? Again, that one looks a lot better in that case. It would make this percentage look a lot worse. What could cause that one there to be less? And actually, if this one's quite sort of simple, it's the reverse. Somehow, you're not including all product detail pages for some reason. Maybe they've got different page names, different page types. Ideally good tracking in place, but double check to make sure you are including all pages, all product pages within this calculation. And they're using sessions, not users for this, maybe. Finally, really valid point as well, could people be bypassing the view product stage? Because if you're visiting the website, shopping the website, and then creating a basket, checkout, and place order, they actually don't even view a product. I mean, this could be because the tracking's bad on product pages, but beyond that, what's a reason for why you would shop on the website and create baskets without viewing product pages? Any ideas there from anyone? Session timeout. I mean, it's probably, I'd like to think a less likely reason, but it's possible. Shell's the one for me, the quick order builder. So you're on a product list page, quick view, quick add to basket, add into basket directly from product list pages. I think it's probably good for most websites. It's horrible for analysts. It's really annoying because it throws the numbers way off, changes the behavior. But if that's the case, interesting. I've got a different question. I want to understand that behavior, that usage, and to see how it affects these numbers. I think Andrew, getting recorded as direct, that the traffic source shouldn't actually impact this. If they were, no, it shouldn't affect this at all. I don't think. I can't see a reason why that would impact it in this case. The most common reason, quick order builder. Also, say you add to basket from your order history. It shows it there, possibly a shared wish list. It's another good reason. You come in, shop on the website, add to basket, don't view a product page. So again, if that's the case, double check it. See what's happening and review what you're focusing on. In this case, let's assume the numbers are right, that the shopping on the website number is 103,000, viewing product 54,500, and that people aren't adding to basket from any other place on the website. They do it only from the view product page, from the product page. Dang Yang, again, another good reason. There's good reasons here coming out. See, think about people having a website. This isn't the data. This is going, if I was on a website, how could I make this, how could I show this behavior of add to basket without viewing that page? Let's think about that. That's really important. So, we trust the data, it's right. Let's learn how to fish. Let's learn how to, that's actually four, I can't remember. That whole proverb of give a man a fish, he can eat today. Teach him how to fish, he can eat forever. Let's learn how to do this in the future so that whatever problem you encounter, you can find solutions. So this one's really over to you. Can we try this in the Q&A section here? Because I think we'll have to get a fair few answers back. So put it into Q&A as questions. What could cause a person to view a shopping page but abandon before they view a product? Random ideas, throw it up there. They haven't added to basket. They haven't viewed a product. They've gone to a shopping page. The new in, what's on sale, department page, the menswear, womenswear pages, the search results page, any product list page. Look at these pages, but haven't gone to view a product. What do you think they could be? Could you put your thoughts as a question in the Q&A section? And if you'd like an answer, please upvote it. Good first idea. Slow website, getting bored and leaving. Definitely, I'm waiting for the products to load. They don't even load on the page. I'm giving up now. What else? Some more good answers coming through here from Andrew. Not mobile optimized, using a mobile device and it doesn't work so well. They can't actually look at the products properly. It's a good reason. Things they're looking for, product brands, are not on the listing page. Andrew, the model shop could deter certain age groups. I saw a website recently. It was an e-commerce chat on a Monday reviewing a website, and it was for the bigger, taller gentlemen. The models looked fit, basically. Your typical models on a page. We're going, this doesn't look like bigger, taller gentlemen. Doesn't make sense. So yeah, that could definitely put you off. Bad filters, bad sorting. Agree with everybody there. They're just price checking. It's purely window shopping, browsing. That's fine as well. That's a very good reason. Question for me here. How do you define a home page and a shopping page? So I don't count the home page as a shopping page because, true, you may see, you probably will see products there, but being on a home page doesn't show the visitor intent they are shopping. I mean, you can go from the home page through to a product page directly, and that becomes your first shopping page at that point in time. But that's your first sign of visitor intent that you actually are looking for products. I think it'd be unlikely you'd be interested in looking at products, go to the home page, and abandon because you didn't see a product you were interested in. I would like to think you would at least try and look at the search results or any navigational option at all before you abandon to show some visitor intent. So that's basically why, to me, just viewing a home page and nothing else doesn't show sufficient intent that you're looking for products. So there's some good reasons there. So the question is then, how do we actually look at this? So Charles, price checking, you can see them on the list page. Let's go through to a website. Where do I actually have this? There. And I assume you approve the website I actually got here up, Charles. And I'm looking for men's products. New this week. And looking for products, price checking. Now, if I was price checking, Charles, what would I do? Well, I'd scan through, if nothing else, and look at these incredibly high prices for bags on the Selfridges website, £650. for what looks to be a very, very small bag. What I'd do though, if I was looking at these products, I'd want to at least scroll down and look at a few different prices, not just one or two prices. So we've got scrolling as an action here. I might want to go, this will look stupidly expensive. What's the price, low to high? And apply a filter. And go, your cheapest product is a mouth guard for men, interestingly. Skipping ropes, that's £8, thankfully not £800, and so on. Socks, of course. I may look to go, actually, I want to look for a certain category of brands here. I'll adjust the bag to see, are they really all that expensive? They do thankfully start, well, wash bags at 60 odd quid for a wash bag. So I think, and this is the important thing going, if this is the issue, people come to the website and they price check. What behavior will that show? I mean, you might go, well, actually, they're price checking particular products. They want to look at the Ted Baker wash bag, in which case, if that's the project they're trying to do, compare Selfridges versus Ted Baker versus Debenhams for still going or not, or anyone else, how did they do that? They'd probably search Ted Baker wash bag. That's what I would price check for. And so you click through, and this page go, oh, actually, there's some cheaper Ted Baker wash bags, €24. What's a low to high price? What suggests price comparison is my focus. And so I think to me, that's what's the really critical part. For all the ideas here, think through, what does that behavior actually look like on the website? Try and do it yourself. Try and replicate it. And once you have it worked out, then maybe look at the data afterwards. Cool. And yeah, Charles raised a point. They're going, it's an issue. Scroll rate can destroy your tracking. Look for solutions. This is where we're being creative. But if you think scroll rate is important, then find a solution to actually track it. So I had some basic hypothesis. One option is the person came to the website, they didn't mean to shop on the website. Either they're on the wrong place, they clicked on an ad without meaning to, or they actually wanted to check their order history and accidentally landed on a shopping page. Cool. How can I look at that? Did you go to a shopping page and then did you go to a non-shopping page after that? That may indicate this behavior. Did you come to a shopping page but leave the website within 10 seconds, having come from a display ad? That may suggest this behavior. So we're almost here brainstorming a list of reasons to match this hypothesis. Window shopping, a couple of points here. The person had really light interest. They're looking at what's new. Nothing caught the eye. So they've come in, gone straight to the what's new section, scrolled down, one page, nothing caught the eye, and they've left. That's a possibility. How do I prove it? The person, I think someone said this, they were looking for products, looked on the listing page, nothing was worth doing, but they definitely were interested. Now, how can you tell they were interested? They did a search, they applied filters, they changed the sort order. They still could not find a single product worth looking at in more detail. From the very start of this, the slow website speed, not being mobile optimized, something's broken here, and therefore the person left. So Andrew's suggestion, not being mobile optimized, that means that we want to look to see what the completion rate is, that 55%. Is it similar for desktop and mobile? If it's 75% for desktop and 30% for mobile, then yeah, this could be a problem. It could be a slow website on mobile phones, not mobile optimized. That's the problem to focus on. Now look deeper here. And that's where we're starting to get to the whys to prove the whats. So here's some potential hypothesis, which I think matches what you've said in a slightly sort of vaguer, high-level way. The big question is, once you identify an issue, an hypothesis, can you prove it? We've got theories. We've gone to the websites on the desktop or mobile, tried reading, going, That seems possible to me. Can you now prove your guess? Some data points to try and help you verify a hypothesis, listed out here. As a question, the visitor must have triggered a shopping page. Now, when they did this, did they actually enter on that shopping page? Or did they navigate through to it, having come in on the home page? Because if they entered on the shopping page and they bounced immediately, and their traffic source was that display ads, this suggests they actually weren't interested in the first place. Or the ad was at fault, it's a really bad ad, or the landing page is bad. But that suggests the issue isn't with people not being able to find a products, the issue is with the marketing side. So your solution's very different. That's interesting. Which page type triggered the stage completion? So when we say you viewed a shopping page, you're shopping on the website. Obviously, you look at multiple pages here, but let's say what was the first page you saw that was a shopping page? Department page, your product list, a search results, the new in, deal of the day. What was that trigger? And then seeing other different completion rates to go and view a product from different page types. Is it commonly 75% for some page types, but only 30-40% for other ones? It's great. If you search results, it's really good. If you look at a product list, it's really bad. You start to narrow down where the potential issues are. And you can flick back from a hypothesis to data point, back to the website again, and think through, like, if the search results is good, product list is bad, why is that? What can I look at on the website that suggests why this could be an issue? You look at the product list pages and they've actually got a big thing at the top and all these sort of salesy points. You actually have to scroll down a lot to actually see products. And it doesn't exist in the search results page. That gives a problem. Looking to see, after the first shopping page, what happens next? Is that the only page to look at? Do they just exit the website from there? Do they go on to view a non-shopping page? Actually, visitor intent was quite low. Did they interact with the page? Did they apply filters? Did they use sort? And if so, what options? Did they try to look at multiple shopping pages before abandoning? Going back to the hypothesis. They're interested, looked at multiple shopping pages, tried search results, tried product list pages, nothing was right. They could not find a product that were worth looking at in more detail. Because all these different points here, you're narrowing down where the issues are to get better answers. If the issue was internal search, was there any results as well at all? Was it good for some search terms and bad for other search terms? Did people interact with the search results pages? Did they exit from there or do anything else? I mean, going back to Selfridges, if I look for scissors and I spell it wrong, what's going to happen? Carl starts panicking now. And actually, I get results. Great. It takes me straight to the product list page for knives and scissors. And it starts showing me all these knives. Do I go to one going, what is this? This is wrong. Get me out of here. Or do I scroll further? Do I actually go on to find, here's some scissors? Do I try refine by brand? No. Price, that isn't relevant. Can I sort? How do I just see scissors here? Why can't you show me scissors? That can be frustrating. Do I try actually going, here's the correct spelling, let me try it properly? And for the tracking, do you actually even record the fact that was actually a search, not a click through to the knives and scissors page? And again, I still can't find scissors. I give up. Bad results. If the issue is a product list page, similar questions. Do they build exit from the page or go elsewhere? Is it different per different product list for the categories or individual pages? Do you interact? If you apply search and you go from the default search to searching by price, is performance really much better? Should you default to actually sorting by price rather than by result, by the your definition of best performing? the filter actually have an impact or not? Should you actually change the layout of the filters so actually you have the filter by price, but in the top option? Getting rid of refined by brand because no one ever uses refined by brand. What happens here? The question about the mobile performance. Segment this by device type, country, visitor type, traffic source. Does this have an impact or not? And possibly narrow down your thinking from here. Is it a country issue? If you're from the UK, it's great. As of the UK, really bad. We need to actually improve the geolocation and put people through to the right self-registered website, so they don't see all the products showing pounds. Any other suggestions? I mean, you can see here, lots of options, lots of ideas. So, and with that, once you prove an issue, so first of all, you've got a hypothesis, you look at the website, try it out, find out what looks to be the potential issues there, look in the data, prove the issue. And once you prove it, what can you then change on the website to influence people's behavior? That idea of changing the search result to show scissors here, having different filter options, changing the sort options, would making those changes impact performance and increase that completion rate from the 50% up to 65, 70%, making a big 10% plus impact on your sales at the end of the day. And that's it from me, which is still 40 minutes, not 20 minutes, that I'd like to be. So from that, what are your questions? Does that make sense, that approach, that way of thinking? Any other suggestion you want to make from here? Any ideas? Any feedback? Please raise your hand if you want to actually ask a question in person, or put the question in the Q&A, and hopefully I'll see it, or just in the chat's fine as well. No questions. Could you let me know? Did that make sense to you? Was that useful? Was it helpful? With a yes or no in the chat, appreciate that. Got at least one positive. I'll take that. While you're doing that, next week's suggestions. Standard retail. So I've got a question here. Are there any standard retail targets for total to product list page to product details page? That goes back to my targets here. These are targets I use. Shop on the website to view a product, 80%, view product, create basket, 20%, and so on. These aren't benchmarks, they're targets. It was quoted by an old boss a lot of years ago. I've used them ever since. They've been really useful for me, really practical to identify where the biggest issues are. I start with that, and there's a whole blog post about this. I haven't got a recording, I've got a deck for it. Send me through an email if you want actually to share the link with if you can't find it yourself. Otherwise, beyond that, look for internal benchmarks and say, well, if these product pages can convert, product list pages convert at this level, why is other product list pages underperforming? I find internal benchmarks really useful for this. And I saw another question come through, I think. How much does a customer persona type factor into your thinking when considering funnel analysis? I mean, as you can see, I've almost implicitly used personas within this approach here. I am, when I'm saying these ideas here, I'm almost thinking about personas here. They've got light interest, they're window shopping. They actually were an accidental visitor. This is a potential customer, but couldn't find a product worth looking for. And so, I mean, that's very, very basic, I know. I'd want to look at personas, but not so much the tennis mum type persona. It's more the intent. I've got a link on my phone, a good blog post about this. Let me see if I can find it quickly and if I can link with it. Let me see if I can find something for you. So I haven't actually read the entire article. I'm getting through it slowly, but I find it really good way of thinking about it. I agree with this. This, from what I've read so far, oops, put in there, put in the chat. This, from what I've read so far, matches my thinking. That rather than looking at the traditional personas, it doesn't matter. What actually matters is what was the purpose for coming to the website? Was it window shopping? I mean, almost like knowing, was it window shopping in your lunch hour while waiting for a friend, if you're on a mobile, is more important than your age, gender, socioeconomical background, in my opinion. There's a good example here somewhere. I can scroll down to it. Why someone's actually going to buy ice creams, and so about sort of positioning it the primary job. Have I got it here somewhere? Nope, can't find it. Coming from basically positioning the ice cream van, coming up from the beach, you're hot, you're tired, you want to keep the kid happy. What's the motivation to actually buy an ice cream or not? That to me is more important than just the traditional buyer personas. But because of the time, next week, I did a blog post recently where I visualized the Volkswagen Belgium website. It's a much bigger website visualization. I've had requests come through to actually make that the topic for a workshop. And the second one is my topic for MeasureCamp Europe in a week's and a half's time. To practice it would be good. I'm basically trying to define what a web analytics solution would look like in theory that doesn't need a consent banner. What should be fine, unlegitimate interests, which gives you information which is useful, but still respects a visitor's privacy. So, with those two options, let's actually keep it in the chat. Can you please just in the chat put down if you've got a preference for number 1 or number 2? Cool. This is good for me in a way. It means I can actually practice it for the MeasureCamp. It's always a good thing to do. Practice helps. It means I do the Volkswagen Belgium website visualization session the week after that. Sorry, Nang, you'll have to wait an extra week for this. That'll be on the 2nd of July. We'll do this, and the 9th of July, Volkswagen Belgium. So contact details are there. Thank you very much for your time. This recording will go onto the website today or over the weekend. You can look at it again yourself afterwards. Please do share it with anyone you might find it interesting. Please come along next week. I'll have that registration up again today or this weekend, and hope to see you all next week. Have a great weekend. I'll be in the chat area here for another 5 minutes in case anyone wants to ask me any more questions. Thank you very much.